2, 1. We are live on episode 12 or 13 of the Zach and Jay Show. I don't have any chest hair. I shaved it
What's
off.
up, everybody? Welcome back. Jay got a new dope Adidas sweater on. It has a zipper right in the middle. It's the most bizarre thing.
How big the zipper is? What are we going to put in there? Put treats in there?
It's front-loaded. Rice Krispie treats. I had 4 Rice Krispie treats last night.
Yeah, you go hard on the sweets. This guy eats a lot of sweets.
Nah, I gave up sweets this year.
Not last night on FaceTime. I saw you. I saw you eating sweets last night.
Cheeto. I'm on the Cheeto diet. So Jay did keto. Remember, Charlie? And he cheated. You remember that? Guys, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of the Zach and Jay Show. Super excited for you guys to be tuning in today. We got big news. Jay and I have real big news. We landed our first sponsor. We're really excited about it. PRX racks. They're space-saving racks. We actually set one up at Iron Barbell. We've been loading 300-pound stones on this thing. It literally mounts to the wall, and it's sturdy enough to handle 600-pound squats and 300-pound stones. So we're behind this company, and we're super excited to be partnering with them right now.
And they literally fold out of the wall. So, like, it's not like, you know what I mean? A lot of people have garage gyms, and it's, you know, a standard rack, right? But this one literally folds against the wall, so you can still park 2 cars in the garage with no issues. It folds right out.
Yeah, and it folds right out. And how it works is the pressure of the weight goes into the ground, so it doesn't go into the wall. It doesn't like shift the wall.
So you can actually fold those down, put your barbell on it, and then put your bench under there for a bench press or a squat. Or
dude, they have the bench that it folds up onto the wall too. Okay. Hydraulics. It's next level stuff. So
you can basically do anything. Whether you can squat, you could bench. You know, you can do incline bench. You could do
rack
deadlifts,
pulls.
rack pulls. Get some dumbbells. Get some bands.
Yeah, we're about it. Because I was hesitant. So Ryan actually hit us up like last year. He was like, yo, man, I'd love to get a rack inside Iron Barbell. And I was like, yeah, I was a little bit nervous because, I mean, we got like a lot of guys, 15, 20 members squat 600. So, you know, shaking back and forth. I didn't know if it'd be sturdy enough. So finally this year, I was like, you know what, let's just try it. Mm-hmm. And we got it because I like the whole idea of space saving, especially at the gym. We need to save some space. And, dude, we got the rack. And I'm like, this is, if it can withstand Iron Barbell, it's great for any garage gym, right. Most definitely.
So we're super pumped about it. We'll have more details coming soon. We'll have a promo code if anyone's interested in, you know, building a garage gym, or if you're starting a gym, you know, and you're looking to save some space. We'll have a promo code.
It's like Zach and J5.
Yeah.
Right?
Zach and J5. Yep. And
save 5%.
Yeah, and
we got you guys.
And included in your purchase is the 30-day challenge.
Yeah.
Zach and I designed a 30-day challenge.
Ebook.
Yeah, it's an ebook. It's got a little bit of a nutrition guide in there. It's a 4-day split, so it's an upper, lower. So that's included in every purchase as well. So we're super pumped about it, and we'll be talking about, you know, the company more as we go. We're going to be doing some content with the rack and everything. So we're pumped.
We're really excited. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, PRX. We're really thankful for the opportunity and to share this information with our listeners. So hey guys, thank you too for tuning in and listening. I guess we have enough downloads to get us a sponsorship now, so that's pretty dope, huh?
Yeah, we're on our way to making it.
We're essentially like as big as the Joe Rogan podcast now.
Yeah, you could say that. We're kind of a mini Joe Rogan podcast.
So I have a good friend of mine on our episode today, Matt Overton. What's up, Matt?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. So Matt was actually on the radio before in Nashville, right?
I was interning or shadowing, a syndicated country talk show, morning show, Bobby Bone show, and got to learn a little bit behind the scenes and production side of stuff and content development and personality stuff, you know, and it was fun, man. And I'm known Bobby for a few years now, so he extended the opportunity to shadow the show for one of my off seasons, so I moved to Nashville.
When was that?
2 years ago.
Oh, okay. I thought it was when you got out of college. That was recent.
No, yeah, it was recent. And,
okay.
They're the #1 syndicated show for country radio. So
no way.
Cool. Yeah.
Now, did you go into that with the idea of, like, you know, building your own personal brand more? Like, was that kind of the idea behind?
Yeah, so I did WFMS radio out here quite a bit early on in my career here with the Colts, and I just gravitated to radio. I always did sports radio, like interviews and stuff like that. But I gravitated towards the country side of things, the music side, because like I didn't want to talk sports all the time, and I felt like I could bring, you know, some good content to that platform, and change it up a little bit, because obviously in sports it's always just all about sports, and in the countryside I brought a little bit of, you know, a little spark to it. You know what I'm saying? It was different personality, different perspective, and I just have a genuine love for radio and our country music. And so it was fun, and so then when I went down to Nashville, I was like, man, I went down there with the idea that I wanted to look for an opportunity. CMT was an opportunity, but that was more of a corporate setting and like a 9-to-5, like legit.
CMT's still around, huh? I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, CMT's huge.
Still thriving.
Yeah.
Is MTV?
MTV's around.
Okay, they got music videos though.
No, it's all shows now.
Okay.
Like Jersey Shore and stuff. You know?
Dude, I miss Jersey Shore.
The challenge.
I love that that horrible content of this view. Oh, like The Bachelor. Come on, me and Mac talk The Bachelor all day.
The idea of personal branding is really interesting as an athlete, right? Because like now it's becoming a very popular mainstream thing to do. You know, Gary Vee talks. I talk about Gary Vee all the time. I'm always on his nuts, but he has started his own sports agency, and I
didn't know that.
Yeah, he has his own sports agency, and he's working with a lot of second, third, fourth rounders. And what he talks about is these guys are getting more sponsors and making more money than a lot of the first round guys in sponsorships because just the way that they're going about the branding, and they're building long-term branding. They're making these pages relatable to people like we talked about before the show, and it's back in the day or even still today for a lot of the guys, they don't even do social media. And then what happens when you're done in the league? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when you have that brand, I feel like it makes a huge difference when you're done playing, right?
No, it's interesting because I got some good advice early on in my career about diversifying your brand, and essentially every athlete is their own personal brand, right?
Every person in general is,
but a lot of people don't believe in themselves because they're not the star player, right? It's like, what do I have to bring to the table? I'm not Tom Brady or the starting quarterback or the star first round draft pick, And so it was interesting because not only was Indy great to me, so it was a smaller market obviously, and I got into the community and got involved, but I was like, they were paying me to go do events. I'm like, I'm the long snapper, you know what I'm saying? But I found a lot of value being here in Indy in the Midwest, where it's just like I was getting some recognition, not at the long snapper's position. And I was like, this is pretty cool, And so I wanted to more so dive into the country music because I thought I can build a more unique brand in that setting, and it's different, And so Bobby has created such an incredible platform for himself through the iHeart Radio and his show, but now he's on American Idol. He's Dancing with the Stars champion. He's really like, and he's got an incredible testimony where he's from a small little town in Arkansas and essentially came from nothing, but grinded his way to the top, and to really just be the face of country radio.
That is
such a huge influencer in the music industry and stuff like that. So I've learned a lot from him, but that experience was valuable. But I also I learned a lot of tough lessons too, because when you go back and listen to yourself on podcasts or on the radio and you say some things that you're like, man, why did I say that? Or, I can see how I offend people, like I, piss people off, or that doesn't sound like me, And I asked Bobby one day, I'm like, dude, like, are there ever times where you just like, man, slap yourself across the face and be like, man, why did I say this? Like, dude, every day I wish I could take back something or change something, but you have to just learn to roll with it. Obviously, you get more comfortable behind the mic, and you get more settled into the message you're always trying to talk to, and of course the cast around you helps you develop that. But I was so mad with myself looking back on that opportunity, because I wish I would have approached it differently, because I think I was going after the opportunity in the wrong way, like using it for like notoriety or I don't know. We talked about it this morning at brunch, like, using the platform the right way and like having the correct perspective and focus,
And I tell you what, that's so inspiring, Matt, that you acknowledge that Bobby acknowledged that and say he kicks himself too almost every day.
But it took me 2 years to realize, like, man, I wish I would have approach it differently.
Yeah, I mean, me and him talk about it all the time, like the Firecast, the Young Hungry Firecast that we had. We were really trying to deliver good content. I think some of the content we delivered was definitely of value. It impacted
people positively, but
it's like, but we also gave some poor advice, at times. And I feel like I've said some things, especially when I get on my rants, dude. You all know how I used to get. I used to be real ranty, like so biased in one direction and just boom, 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 mother effing everything else under the sun. And then I look back on that, I'm like, I can't believe that was me. Yeah. And I did that. And I feel, shameful sometimes. But also just, I put myself in a perspective, like, I'm growing, man. At least I can acknowledge it now and know that, hey, that was not how I want to portray myself. And there's sometimes I say some things, I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, as I'm saying it, I wish I could just grab it out of the mic and be like, nope, not that one.
That's podcasting. It's a stream of conscience. Especially, like, you think about being on, like, Joe Rogan type scale. Like, you say something, millions of people, it's live too, millions of people hear it right away, and you're like, well. So
the Bobby Bones show, the morning show, is a live show. Ooh. And so obviously you're 3 hours ahead of the West Coast too, and so like my family's on the West Coast, and they can listen to it when it goes live on the internet, and I would say some stuff, and I wasn't on there a lot, But when I got brought on, you know, it's like, all right, here's my time to shine. And you just feel like, oh, I just totally whiffed at that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like my family listens to it, or some people back here listen to it. I'm like, oh, man, like, they're going to think I'm an idiot, or I'm going to sound stupid. You know what I'm saying? Or like I just said something that was just out of character, or would offend somebody, or come across too cocky or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's interesting. Podcasts, you can go back and you can delete it. You don't have to post it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You can edit it.
We've
man.
done that a few times.
Yeah, there's been a few episodes. Like, there was this one time I was on a podcast and I just got all fired up. I told Charlie this was edited out and we actually deleted the episode. I said something about, like, I was getting all fired up about something, like about men being vulnerable and quit being prideful. And I'm like, you know, I think I'm just I'm a little bit egotistical about, like, combat. So I'm like, I can whoop 90% of the people or 95% of the people in the world. I'm like, dude, don't come across like that. And I told Charlie, he's like, what? It's true, bro. You could whoop. And I'm like, no, man, I can't.
Yeah.
Stroking the ego.
I can't be dropping that. You know, I'm not trying to portray myself that way. And, you know, so for those who, you know, keep listening to us, even though we might have slightly offended you, you know, in the past, or we might have said some things that you guys known that were out of character because you know us personally, you know, thanks for just sticking with us and giving us grace, because I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing about podcasting, though, is unique about it, and a lot of people don't understand this. And when I was in the middle of the podcasting thing, or you're in the interview, you're in a podcast and you're being invited onto the podcast and you're being interviewed, sometimes the questions is spitball, and you don't even have time to not only answer the question fully, but sometimes you don't even get the chance to go back and, like, correct yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, I said some stuff on Bobby's podcast that I was upset about, and I was like, dude, man, like, can I go on the radio, like, live radio, and, like, you know, give some clarity on it? And he you know, extended that grace and was like, yeah, sure. And it had to do with my girlfriend, dude. I upset her so much on the podcast, you know, and there's nothing bad that I really said, but just the way it came across was just so negative, you know? So, like, I just felt so much guilt and conviction. I'm like, man, I got to go and, like, you know, make this right, you know?
Right, yeah.
And so he gave me the opportunity. I'm, like, pretty much apologized, you know, on the air for it. And I was like, man, this podcasting sucks, man. I don't want to do this, man. It's discouraging because you got to be careful what you say, man. I mean,
and how often do we say things? It's on a daily basis. I can think about just in the locker room and times where I say things just even to my team or give advice to my team, or you know, or I'm real just fiery at the gym, especially when we're training, and I might, like, rip on somebody, and I take it usually every day a little bit too far. Yeah. And then I'm like, you know, I'm at home at like 10 o'clock at night and feeling guilty, like, yo, bro, I love you. I'm sorry about what I said earlier. I didn't really mean it, you know. But when you podcast, and if it's live too, it's out there.
Oh, you forget that you have an audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like I always forget
it's
that.
It's not a live audience, but they're out there and they're gonna hear it. And when it's on the internet, man,
it is weird to think about that like, we just talk, but it's like, you know, thousands of people listen, and it's like, when you see the number, we talked about this before. When you see even just thousands of people, we're not even to hundreds of thousands. Eventually, you know, we'll be there, but thousands of people is a lot of people. Like, if we put 1,000 people out and, you know, in the street listening, it's like. Whoa, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of people. So, but when you see 1,000,
what y'all listening for? What y'all hear?
It's a big influence.
It must be interesting.
But personal brand is huge. I didn't know Gary Vee did that.
He does. Yeah, he just started.
Awesome.
Him and his brother were partners in VaynerMedia, whatever their company's called, and then his brother left to start the sports agency, and Gary's a partner as well. And yeah, that's their biggest thing, is helping these kids, you know, start personal brands that are gonna allow them, even after they're done, you know, or even if they play 4 or 5 years, you know. They can make, you know, they can have all these different business outlets and just different things they can do with the brand.
Well, look at the platform that you guys have outside of the gym, right? And fitness. Like, you have the podcast, right? And it's another way to reach an audience, another way to influence, you know, and help change someone's life, possibly, you know, and it's huge, right? And you could do this the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You can sit behind a mic forever, you know what I'm saying, and pump out content, and, you know.
That's the thing. Once you build that brand, you know, build that deep relationship with people, they're gonna support you forever.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because you give to them, they're gonna give back to you. So, like, if you nourish it and you water it, it's long term.
And your audience through this is not here in Indianapolis. It could be in Ohio,
all over the world,
California, all over the world.
Yeah.
So these are people. This is an audience that you may never meet, that, like, feel that connection. And so the personal brand's huge, and I've learned that through being here in Indy and taking advantage of it. Obviously, it's not a huge market, but, like, Colts Nation's so loyal, man.
Oh, dude,
like, they love it, dude. It's like,
oh my god,
it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, and if you don't take advantage of it, it's a shame. And, you know, I think we need to do a better job as like like the NFL PA side of it, like to encourage guys, like, you know, because not everyone has a personality to stand in front of a crowd and talk or, you know, speak or whatever it may be. And some guys, you know, maybe just, like I said, don't feel like you're going to pay me to do what? I'm not even a star player, you know, like no one knows who I am. No one's going to care. You know, but if you take advantage of those opportunities and slowly but surely people get to know you.
That's how you story tell it too. Like,
for sure, yeah.
Being the long snapper, like you could story tell that, and it could be extremely interesting.
sure.
You may not think it might, you know, but people are going to think it's interesting.
Well, you know what's Matt, whenever I just interviewed you on my podcast, dude, I was loving like knowing more about your life and skateboarding and everything else, skating, you know, stuff that you were getting yourself into. I just thought that was really cool and unique because, you know, I'm sure you talk football a lot, obviously being in NFL football a lot, but just the fact that it's sometimes you see an NFL football player like all he does is play football. It's like, you know, to know that like I have had all kinds of different hobbies and done all kinds of different things, and I have way more depth than just my number 45.
Yeah,
you know, I have way more depth than that.
Yeah,
which
and
is always
unfortunately,
really encouraging.
a lot of us players fall into the trap of thinking that's all we have too.
I bet this is why guys
in every profession. I mean, it's not just athletics. It's just you get so sucked into your identity as an athlete or an entrepreneur that you feel like you have nothing else to really bring value to this world. You know, it's like everyone has a story. You know.
Yeah, I got caught up in that. You know, especially like Zach HOMOL'S. Like, literally, my buddy's like, "Yeah, dude, you can't even mention lifting weights in Ohio Valley without hearing Zach HOMOL'S." And I was just like, "That's cool," but that's when I changed my. I know it's petty, but I changed my Instagram name just as Zach HOMOL'S because I started to realize I was being associated with just powerlifting. I'm like, I started talking a little bit more about self-development and saying, like, "Hey guys, I'm way more than just a 600-pound deadlift, 700-pound deadlifter. I can offer more information than just that because it can begin to consume you. You know, as a whole." And another thing else that I find, I don't see talking out loud, Matt. Like I find a lot of people, and I gotta watch on who I put myself beside and the circles I put myself in, because I realize more people are prone to want to have conversation and get to know me now just because I have a little bit of a platform. So I always try to be cautious. Like, are they just like really want to get to know me as a person, or are they just trying to grow themselves in whatever space they're in and use what little clout I have for themselves? You're falling in some categories like that?
Oh, for sure, absolutely. And like I'm going through it kind of right now. So I'm doing real estate. This is another passion of mine and something I've always been interested in, right? And so when I went to the class here in town, it was like a 5-week class, you know, Monday through Friday. You know, the instructor knew who I was, and you know, after maybe a couple of weeks, he kept like asking me questions, and then he kind of made a point like, "Hey, do you know who this guy is sitting in the front of the seat? You know, he used to play for the Colts." And it's cool to be recognized like that, but then I kind of felt like that special treatment, right? Like, listen, I'm here to learn, like, and I have a genuine interest. And he was a great instructor. Don't get me wrong, I still love him. I'm not bashing him for it, but sometimes I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, dude, I don't want to feel like I'm, you know, being favored here or whatnot, because I felt that way. You know, when you go through the process of the real estate and you pass your class and you have these companies, you're pretty much a free agent. These companies come after you like, "Hey, work for us," you know? And this particular agency reached out to me and it's like, "You'll be great at this, you know, your connection and network here in Indianapolis is great, and you'd be a huge benefit to this team, and you know, we're gonna help you along." It's like, well, do you really want me because some people may know my name and I can help with some business and bring some money in, or you genuinely want to help me out? So I'm kind of going through that right now.
That makes,
you know what I'm saying? It's like
100% sense, man. On top of that,
and I don't want to be around fake people.
Exactly. I mean, just for instance, being at the gym, everyone's like, "Dude, I listened to your Matt." Like, people I didn't even know listen to my podcast this time. Like, yeah, I tuned in because I saw Matt was on there, and like, people just love you. I mean, there's so much. I mean, obviously you play for the Colts, but I think people are really connected to you because you're personable on social media as well. But like, you show like your real life stuff, but also you just do so much for the community. You're very invested. You're very involved in charity work as well, and I feel like people like can get to see your personality through that. So I can already see how that could be just from the gym. Because people like, you know, girls and guys.
I appreciate that, man. I think what's cool too about social media is like you have to show your personality, right? I mean, that's the way you bridge the gap between, you know, the celebrities and the fans, and you know, fans. I think that was one reason why, you know, people, you know, showed so much love for me, was because of the fact that I, you know, was so personable on social media and went out in the community and did stuff, and I'm not afraid to, and I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. You know, I love helping where I can, and this is such a great community to do so, because Colts fans, you know, so loyal, man. They love you through thick and thin, And even though I play for the Jaguars now, I'm still getting like, even the coolest thing, probably one of the coolest things I've experienced in my career is, coming back to Indy and playing in Indianapolis. And people are still like yelling at me from the stands and wearing my old Colts jersey, or taking pictures with kids on the sideline and stuff like that. And then, or when we play the Colts in Jacksonville and we have Colts fans coming in to watch the game, and guys, I had a guy, and I'm not in the game very much, so I probably play like 10 snaps of a game on a good day, and we're warming up on the sideline quite a bit, and there was one guy that literally ran down from like the top section, ran all the way down and tried to get my attention. He finally got my attention. He was like, "Hey Matt, huge Colts fan, love you, brother. We miss you in Indy. Like, so glad you're here in Jacksonville." Like, I mean, that love was just like, that dude took his time to run all the way down just to give me a little shout out, and I'm like, man, that's special, man. Dude, I'll never forget that. Whoever that guy was, man, it made my day. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's because it's a smaller market team. Like, would it be like that if it was like an LA team, do you think?
I don't know. Probably not, to be honest with you, because, not only – so a lot of what people don't realize, too, like, let's take the New York Giants and Jets, for instance. Like, the stadium's not in New York. It's in New Jersey. The facilities are not in New York City, like
where they
most
put
people
it.
It's all in New Jersey, and so I feel like the fan base is great, but Indy is special because everything's here. Our owners here, the stadium's here, the facilities here. So the presence of the players is more prevalent here. You know what I'm saying? You could see guys out at dinner, or just walking the street or whatever it may be. And so I think like the root of the organization, the team is a bit stronger just because of the presence.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Cleveland or something.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a small town.
Don't compare Indy to Cleveland. Come on,
Cleveland's on the come up, dude.
Hey man, they are. They got some.
I just don't like Cleveland. The city.
Brownies are.
I don't like the city that much.
City
it's just cold.
Yeah,
every time in Cleveland.
Hey, Indy's cold. It was -30 this week.
Yeah, you true. You right on that. But it's
gonna be 60 Sunday though.
Yeah, I'm not about Cleveland. Thank God, man.
Do you snap on kicks as well?
Yeah, punts and
field goals.
Yeah.
How much pressure? Like when it's a game-winning field goal, how much pressure?
Because you don't talk about the long. It's always the kicker.
Yeah,
but
no, I didn't.
There's
even
a lot more going into the.
I thought you would. For some reason, I was just thinking like punts, but it's field goals as well. How much pressure is on you when you're?
I mean, there's a lot of pressure, but it's like whenever we try to talk about, like what's it like being in that moment. Like obviously, when you're on the sideline, you have that time to like comprehend like what's going on, the magnitude of the situation that your team's in. And then the thought of like, all right, well, if we get in field goal range, then I got to go out there and do my job, and we got to make this kick. It's like you have that time to be like, whoa, this is make or break right here. But like when you're on the field, it's like you kind of like black out.
Yeah, just flow state.
You're like, so not only are you confident what you're doing, but you're not thinking about it. You just go out there and like sometimes I just get chills thinking about it right now. Like I haven't been involved with a ton of like game-winning field goals, but myself and Vinatieri and McAfee, we had a good run there for some big clutch kicks, in the 5 years we played together. And I think the confidence that Vinatieri had, like, it just rubbed off on the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because that dude was just ice cold, man. Just like he was just in the zone.
It's pretty cool. You got to work with McAfee and Vinatieri, two of the most well-known special teams players of all time.
He got signed last week, and I mean, this is incredible, man. But yeah, it's like you just go out there and you practice it so much that it's kind of like your max, right? You practice and prep for your max, and once you get under that bar, it's like you kind of
out.
You're not really in the moment, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're just,
when I compete, I ain't thinking like
you don't even see the people in the crowd.
No, like when I lifted that 300-pound stone, it fell on top of my face. Like I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like I just had to get back up. I need to do one more rep.
or when you're competing in a strongman, or you're on stage, doing your thing. Like you're kind of lost, and you're so well prepared that like.
That's the moment, like true champions. I feel like that's just like the moment like you want. Like I remember playing baseball. And I played all the way up through school, and I remember like always like towards the end of the game we need the last out. Or whatever. I'm like, please hit the ball to me, please. Like I always begged for the ball, and like in boxing, it was always like, I hope I lose at least one of the rounds. So the third round I have to win. Yeah. Like I wanted that pressure, because I think like pressure builds diamonds, but also it raises the level of expectations for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been times in my career, even to this day, that I get nervous.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Simple question, like, don't screw this up. Even though I've snapped the ball a million times, you know, and nowhere near perfected it, but I've definitely gotten better and better and better. But it's like I still get nervous in those moments.
Are there any moments go ahead?
You have less opportunity too if you really think.
Well,
about
yeah,
it.
there's
You're
no.
only snapping the
Well,
ball
it's like
10
it's
times
like
a day,
it's
you
like
know?
we'll go back to the Chicago Bears kicker, Cody Parkey, right?
Yeah.
Like, y'all remember the Chicago Bears kicker who missed it? Like he had like 14 off the poles.
Right. He'd been hitting him off the pole.
Yeah, so he'd been doinking them, is what they call him.
Doinking 'em.
And he had a rough year, but I know Cody personally, and I remember just driving home, and I was trying to make it home in time to see the end of the game, but I was listening on the radio, and you know, he goes out for the game winner, and he kicks the first one, and they ice him with the timeout, and he makes it
Right down the middle.
and I'm just like, I'm just like, oh man, like, because that's the worst thing. Like, it's, you know, not only is it just, you know, game-winning shot, but the it's windy, and it's like other things can go wrong. So I'm like, and plus it gives him more time to think about it, right? And he goes out there and he misses it, and I'm just, I was so upset, man. I was so hurt for him, because not only is that fan base brutal, but it's just like, it's in the biggest moment of the game, you know, and like, you just made the first one, but they called the timeout. You'd make the kick, you know, again if you had to, and it's just like, it sucks, because that was like his moment to like kind of redeem himself from the season, because he had a rough year, you know, but he was resilient up to that point. And what people don't remember was they're the reason why he was in the position to win anyway, because he had already made 3 previous field goals.
Yeah, he already made 3.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him what he did after. Me and you talked about this actually at brunch a couple weeks ago.
So the most impressive thing with him, I mean, he was, obviously you don't really recognize in the moment because of just how, you know, the game ends like that way. It's so dramatic, you know, but he had so much humility that he thanked God. He
pointed out,
he went,
he prayed,
but he didn't just put his tail between his legs and go hide in the locker room. He went to the midfield, prayed with the guys at the 50-yard line, and then he jogged off the field like he would at any other moment, at any other end of a game. And then he had, you know, he was just a man about it, and he handled himself well in the interviews. Obviously he took the blame, but he shouldn't have to. It's a team sport. And
how's that like in the locker room?
Well, unfortunately, man, it's like you get the stigma is like, you have one job.
Right.
You have one job, and you got to do it every time. Like, my job is to snap the ball, obviously, and the punter is the punt, kicker's the kick, and make field goals, all that kind of stuff. We get it, but like we just talked about, you have the window of error is so much smaller than anybody else. You know, one guy can have 10 bad plays out of 100, but us, we can't even afford to have one out of our small little bunch.
Yeah.
And you know what? A quarterback can throw an interception, but he can redeem himself by scoring the game-winning touchdown. And the thing is, too, is what's crazy is like Cody Parkey could have missed that field goal early in the game, and then worked his way up to kick the game winner. It could have been flipped, and he would have been the hero.
Yep.
You know,
that moment, dude, 0 to 0. It's literally 1 minute. You can go from 0 to 0.
And not only that, dude, like, he's handled himself so well, and you know, he's really like displayed his faith in the whole thing. And I know he's gonna turn the test into testimony, but like, he's even getting backlash for going out and like talking about, you know, his coach, the head coach, got upset with him for going on like Good Morning America, and because they brought him on to talk about like what he's been dealing with and how hard it was to miss that kick, and just the humility he had in the moment, and the coach came out and said, hey, this is a team sport. He just bashed the kid for actually going out there and kind of sharing the story and turning it into a positive, or trying to turn it into a positive, you know, because dude, the hate was real on social media. I mean, he was getting death threats, and he was getting, there's videos that I was watching from guys that, you know, were literally threatening him to go to his house, and you know, like, it's just crazy, man.
Over a sport, man.
It's
so much bigger. Like, dude, our lives are so much bigger than that sport, man. It's so much more than that. But I love that you had tweeted about it. Like, I think we can all learn something from him.
Well,
like
100%.
Like,
and he's a friend of mine, and that's why I took it personal too, right? And like, what's funny is, I don't know if you saw it on Twitter like the next weekend, but a local bar did like a field goal challenge.
I saw that.
So he missed like a 43-yarder, from the right hash, whatever it was. So the bar was like, all right, we're going to have a 43-yard field goal challenge. And whoever makes it, like, I think it was like drinks for free for a year or something like that, right? And
Every alcoholic's like
so
hype right now.
they had the street was packed. They had a crowd there, probably a couple hundred people there, and they had whoever wanted to sign up and come kick a 43-yarder. Like, of course you get the high school hairy dudes like, dude, I got this, man. I used to kick in high school. I could make that all day. Cordy Parkey sucks. Like, and the videos were hilarious. First of all, I think it was out of 100 contestants, nobody made it.
Wow.
But people really took it. There's guys that were drunk going out there like, I could do it, wholeheartedly, like just jokingly went out there and did it. But there's guys that showed up in like tights, cleats on, like, dude, I can make this because back in 1998 I was all-state kicker.
Yeah. I won state championship.
You know
Glory
what I'm saying?
days. Talking about 20 years ago.
It just proves a point. Like, first of all, the job's not that easy. Yes, he's a professional, and yes, he's got to make those kicks, and he's gonna tell you that all day long. But dude, we all make mistakes, and
We're human.
Not to mention it was tipped, and that came out like a couple days later that in fact a guy did. No, that's no excuse for missing it because he could have been higher. Trust me, that dude wishes he made that kick,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And he's gonna always remember that, and like he let his team down, and it sucks because it should never fall on his shoulders.
Yep.
Even they can say, "Oh, it's a team sport all day," but it's still, dude. The hurt and pain he feels from that
absolutely
is real. You know what I'm saying?
But in that moment, what I just thought, like me and you both talked about this, in that moment, to give glory to God, whether it's through triumph or adversity,
No question.
he still gave glory, which I just thought was so just remarkable on his character. And that was really inspiring in that moment.
sure.
So I was like, me and Ash were just like, oh no. We actually wanted the Bears to win actually that game and it happened. And we're like, oh no. And we watched him do that. And in that moment, what's about, like you said, the fan base is hostile as shit. So you just know it's about to go down for this guy. And he just knows it too and prays anyways. It's like, how freaking inspiring is that? Because we've all been down and out. And what's so funny is we all talk about this all the time. And everyone I talk to talks about this. When you're down and out, it feels like you just keep getting kicked. And people love to kick you when you're down.
Yeah.
Yet when other people get down, we tend to kick them too. Like, just because he's a professional athlete doesn't mean he doesn't still feel like we feel.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of forget about that sometimes. We're masking something. Like, if you're going onto Twitter and you're talking all this shit, and it could even be just the little things like the bird box thing with the blindfold. That stuff was going around with the kicker and stuff. It's like, what if that was you?
Yeah.
How would you feel if you were put in that particular situation?
Well, what really irritated me and kind of set me off too, and I didn't like go vocal with this or anything, but the reason why I don't want to do sports radio or sports commentary is because I don't want to be felt like I need to be put in a position to critique my peers, right? So when I see analysts, commentators, former coaches bash Cody Parkey or tweet something or post something on like a meme of it, I'm like, dude, like you out of all people should understand how hard the job is. So for you to use the meme or create something to be funny or whatever it may be in the moment, like, it just really upset me, man. It's like,
I feel that way sometimes at Barstool. I think some of their content's hilarious, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's funny. And then other times, like,
but it's at the sake of somebody's
character
or the struggle that they went through or the downfall. You know what I'm saying? It's like
the Jim fuckery stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, and everyone tags me in it. And it's just so funny because I've never enjoyed watching that type of content, like people doing really stupid shit on machines. I watch people do stupid shit every day down here. Like, it's just part of it. You know what I mean? People are always doing something that's like, well, that's bizarre. Or whatever it might be. Like, I remember some dude videoed me floor pressing, so floor press to come down and pause my elbows, drive up, and try to make this thing about me being dumb. So I was floor pressing, and it's like his own ignorance, like he didn't realize that it's actually a movement to do. It's gonna make me better. That's okay though, buddy. But it's like people are learning, man. People are going about their day, and who are you? Just because you know a little bit more about this, imagine how much easier it'd be to like, hey man, maybe try this or try this instead. Instead, we got to make fun of them. So.
Don't get me wrong though. There's some stuff on the internet from people that's doing stuff at the gym that deserves
hilarious. Yeah, that deserves
to be bashed. Like, you don't use the pull-up bar thing as a hip thrust or whatever. There's like
I love that one when he's upside down and curling.
Oh, for
He's
sure.
upside down and cable crossover and curling.
Now there are some things that like I would probably video
Like
myself.
no one in the right state of mind would go into the gym and put the guy that was hanging on the cable crossover, how he was jumping up off the ground and like doing like ninja stuff. I'm like, dude, come on. Like anybody in the right mind who's been to a gym knows that you're not supposed to be doing that.
Right.
So there might be some ignorance tied to it.
There's levels to it for sure.
Absolutely. But like the one that with gym shaming is like the overweight girl that's doing something a little bit odd on a treadmill or something, whatever, and it's posted or what they're wearing or something like that. And like I've been guilty of, don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of that because I'll see somebody doing something weird or obnoxious in the gym and I make fun of them to myself or like with
of course.
Snapchat to my buddy, like, look at what this dude's doing. But like maybe he really genuinely, not only is that the only thing he can wear, but maybe genuinely that's the only thing he knows what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've never been taught.
That's a fact. I mean,
or he's doing something that we just don't even know about yet.
He's so next level. Yeah, Jay was doing some dumb shit when he came here.
Yeah.
Had no nipples. There was this guy yesterday. One of my buddies posted on Instagram story, I think is what it was. This guy at an LA Fitness had all the 45-pound plates stacked on there, like 10 on each side, and then he had the leg press, and he had like 10 or 15 in the middle of it too, where they were almost like falling off, and he had these tights on, and he was doing like a 16th rep.
Oh yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But
Overloading the knees, bro.
he's strengthening them knees though.
But maybe he's strengthening something that we just don't know.
Maybe we don't even
he's
know
like,
it
this
yet.
is for my ACL right here, G. Like, you don't even know.
That's
no,
true.
he might be right.
What are your thoughts on the Saints game? You know how it finished.
Oh man, awful. Because I'm a Drew Brees fan, so I wanted Drew Brees to win, and I just wanted to see him. Because in my mind, I brought this argument up like a couple weeks ago, and I'm kind of kicking myself for it now. But I was like, yeah, who would you rather have on your team, Drew Brees or Tom Brady? I'm like, I'll take Drew Brees all day. And it was like, you're crazy, man. And I really think Tom Brady is like the greatest of all time.
But you don't really mean that.
I mean, I don't know. My argument was this. I feel like if you had Tom Brady, if you had to choose from Tom Brady or Drew Brees, there's no drop off.
What do you mean by that?
Like if he was your quarterback, one or the other, there's no drop off in talent or greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like
winning ability, though, I feel like it's a big drop off.
What's that?
The ability to win,
like in the clutch.
Well, for sure, and that proved my point this weekend, right? I mean, it's like Drew Brees lost, should have scored a touchdown, and Tom Brady fashion goes down and epic comeback, right?
It's like we always know it too. Like I hate when New England gets the ball. I mean, I'm a Tom Brady fan and a Belichick fan just because I like people who win.
Yeah.
And whenever they get the ball, like everyone just can shut the TV off and know this is gonna.
It's awesome. It really is. It's really something to admire. And like the hate for Tom Brady is mind blowing to me. But like I get it. Like it's just I think everyone's just tired of. Like the NFL Network. This is their 16th Super Bowl that they've been a part of, and Tom Brady's been a part of 8.
That's bizarre, man.
So in 16 years, I mean, essentially an entire teenager's life, it's always been Tom Brady. It's like it's unheard.
It's my life.
Like LeBron James in the
it's
NBA.
been our life.
I mean, yeah.
It's been our life.
But when I was growing up, it was always Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. I mean,
okay, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Who's better? You get to witness both.
Dude, it depends. See, this is another argument that I just really hate going down because it depends on what kind of one-on-one style basketball you're playing.
Yeah.
Because LeBron James can just muscle you and just dog you to the hole every time. But Michael Jordan's more finesse. He can shoot anywhere. He can make any shot. So I don't know. It depends on the rules. Because I talked to Gordon Hayward about this, who plays for the Celtics. And we had the argument. The argument was brought up who's better, LeBron. And this is interesting to get a perspective from somebody at his level, right? And he's like, dude, I'll take Jordan all day. I'm like, well, why would you take Jordan all day? Because I'll take LeBron all day. Because I just feel like he's 6'7", 260. You know what I'm saying? Like the power behind him is just crazy. Michael Jordan couldn't stop him. He's like, well, this is why I take MJ all day because he's more finesse. He can shoot anywhere. I'm like, that perspective is pretty interesting. So it depends on the rules because I'm not a hoopster. So I don't know like the one-on-one
You look like
rules.
you might be a hoopster.
I can hoop and I get some good cardio out of it, but like
legit,
like there's like different rules to the game, like on street ball. Like there's make it, take it,
double dribbling every once in a while is okay.
Yeah, there's you're right. There's certain rules. So like I guess it depends on the rules of like the one-on-one battle.
Yeah, I look at it more as like as a team. So I look at both like on a team. If I could pick,
if I had a team, I'd take Michael Jordan. I think he's a better like
team.
Clutch team player.
I just feel like
Kobe. I would
Kobe.
I might take Kobe over,
for real.
over LeBron.
My thing is, though, I feel like nobody can change a team more than LeBron James can. Right. I feel like he can change. Now, I'm not no big basketball fanatic. I just watch it every now and then, usually just the finals, honestly. But usually, from what I can see, LeBron James, no matter what team you put him on, he can make the team.
He had some garbage Cavs teams. Like the year he beat the Warriors with
yeah.
And early on in his career too, when he had Big Z, I was like his second best player, and Antoine Jameson, it's crazy.
I mean, the thing is too is the game has evolved, right? And it happens in every sport, and every level. I mean, the high school kids nowadays than they were 20 years ago are just leaps and bounds more athletic than ever.
That's why I was watching high school kids dunking the other day on Carmel's page. I'm like, what? We had one guy in the league who could dunk. All their players are dunking.
It's really so. If you put Michael Jordan in today's era, how dominant would he be? I don't know, because the athleticism is crazy. You don't have a true center no more. There's no more Shaq. Could Shaq thrive in the NBA now? Because Shaq could hardly run up and down the court. These dudes are. You watch these games; they're scoring 130, 40 points.
It's nuts.
It's not a 67 to 70 game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The defense is just like, it's like who can score the most?
Yep.
Look at Golden State, dude. I mean, they can shoot anywhere.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dude, could Shaq really thrive? Like, yeah, you get him down in the post and he's gonna dominate you because he's 7 foot, 320 pounds. But like, could he run a full game, full court with that speed and athleticism? I don't know. You know, so it's interesting. So Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time in his era. There's no question. LeBron is of this era too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who's better? It's like when they talk about Joe Namath and like Tom Brady and all that. Like, Joe Namath couldn't sniff the NFL nowadays.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but would Tom Brady be durable enough to sustain it then? Whenever quarterbacks were given special treatment, that's the thing. To take him back. Like, sure, his awareness would be great, but is he going to be able to take all these hits? Like hitting you after you throw the ball for 3 seconds, you can still hit the.
So I think it always boils down to who has more wins.
Yeah. I love it.
It has to. You have to, right? I mean,
winning's better.
Because my argument with the Drew Brees, Tom Brady was like, I think Drew Brees is mechanically possibly a better quarterback, more athletic, and probably has stronger arm. But dude, you don't win the big games. Tom Brady does every single time with an average cast. The thing is, and I'm not calling Julian Edelman average by any means, but he may be the greatest non-Pro Bowler of all time,
dude. 1,000%.
There's no question.
1,000%.
He'll never make the Pro Bowl because he's not going to have 1,000 yards receiving, 20 touchdowns or whatever, 10 touchdowns. But he's going to be that reliable dude that's clutch in every single moment.
He's going to catch every ball.
There's no question. I would take Julian Edelman over the elite guys all day.
I was always at the Hines Ward.
Hines Ward's one of those guys for sure.
Man, he was so much fun. Like,
take the hits.
Not fast.
No,
it wasn't like he was all that. Like, always would catch the ball, but when you needed him, he'd run right at Ray Lewis, dude, and just grab it. He'd get lit up and stand up.
That was Chad Johnson too. He would always do that shit. He would run at Ray Lewis and just get drilled. Yeah. There's some videos of him just getting lit up by Ray Lewis.
It's crazy, man. Because somebody brought up a point saying, somebody tweeted, I think it's one of the NFL DBs. He said Julian Edelman should be a Hall of Famer. You know, and people are like, oh, heck no, there's no way. But, I mean, if you really dissect his career, I mean, he hasn't always been at this level, but let's take the last 4 or 5 years. Julian Edelman has been, him and Gronk and Tom Brady and those guys together, clutch. Man.
Crazy clutch, dude. And how much do you think, though, Tom Brady's success comes from having the best coach potentially of all time?
I mean, for sure, it's a huge factor.
It's like the coach knows where put people, like if you own a business, like I know the position Jay needs to be in to thrive. Charlie needs to be in to thrive.
It's huge, man, because the scheme that Bill Belichick has every week, he schemes the crap out of every team, every team. And they're talking about scheme this week because they're talking about how to beat Tom Brady and Patriots is to have up the middle pressure on Tom Brady, meaning Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. You can pressure on the outside all day, but Tom Brady steps up in the pocket and has time to get the ball out fast. They're saying that if he gets pressure up the middle like other teams have had success with, then you can beat him that way. And so that's what they're scheming. But Bill Belichick knows their weakness. Like, all right, well, we're going against probably the best D-line in the league. How are we going to beat them? And they're going to come up with somebody's going to be the X factor that you don't even know about.
It's going to be 21 or 14-7 at halftime, and then they'll come out and they're not they'll score 3 points and Tom Brady will score the last game-winning touchdown. It always does.
It's incredible, dude.
They'll go into halftime, they'll readjust, and they'll come out and win.
Yeah. How does it feel to match up against somebody like Aaron Donald or Ndamukong Suh? Did you see that picture of Aaron Donald?
I loved Dave Pony, whatever his name is, the Barstool Sports guy.
Portnoy, I love that guy.
Did you watch his interview when he was talking about
Ndamukong Suh? He snuck. Did you see those? He snuck into it.
Bro, those are hilarious.
He said, we know you're the dirtiest player in the NFL.
No, we do know you're the dirtiest player in the NFL.
It's documented.
And he answered with a straight face. Because they were saying that he didn't know who he was talking to, because he had like the Fu Manchu on. He had like a I love Goodell hat on.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was dying, dude.
He's got some funny content. He does. Ndamukong Suh had no idea. I mean, he answered it like with a straight face, like like I don't know what his answer was, but I watched the little clip of the interview and it was funny.
What is that like though? Was it like a car crash? I mean, when you run into one of those guys, like, is it?
Well, I don't have to quote unquote match up with these guys because I'm not blocking them. Well, on punt I am. So there's been times. So when Ndamukong Suh played for the Lions, the week before we played them, it was funny because I was watching. It was like a Sunday night game or something. He intentionally on a field goal, like crushed and ran over the long snapper, which is illegal. But then, like,
of course he did,
stepped on his throat.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
This is years ago.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
and they made it. They're like, dude, this is when he was making the run for dirtiest player in the league. And I'm like, great, we're playing this guy the next week, right? And so of course when I went on the field goal, I'm like, oh, there's number 93 right there, he's gonna just destroy me. And he might be one of the most intimidating people I've been around because I when I lived in Nebraska with Maurice, we went to a Husker game with him. And
with Dominic?
Yeah, he played it for Nebraska.
Yeah, he went to Nebraska, and this dude walks on water in Nebraska. I mean, he's the Lord and Savior of Husker football. It really is.
That's all they got.
I mean,
he's the Lord and Savior.
No,
dude.
That's all they got.
I've never seen somebody. I mean, grown women in their 60s, 70s, old ladies, crying when Ndamukong Suh showed up. Just wanted to touch him, dude. I mean, it was the most unreal thing.
I mean, that's how Columbus. Like, I'm from Ohio. I'm from Columbus. I mean, if you grow up in Central Ohio, those guys are gods.
Oh, there's
forever.
No question.
Forever.
And we roamed that campus and that town like we ran the thing. It was me and Ndamukong Suh, the financial advisor guy, and Dominic Raiola, which was he played for the Lions as well, and he was a former Husker. And dude, I remember standing on the sideline. It was against Ohio State, actually. It was a big game. And there was a timeout, and Ndamukong Suh walked out onto the field, halfway across the field, and just did this, got the crowd hyped, dude. I was like, no one just walks out onto the field during a timeout like a civilian.
Oh, no, this is when he wasn't playing.
This is when we're just watching the game.
Shut up.
He just walks out, throws up the skull bones for the defense, and the place went crazy, dude.
Really?
That's so gnarly, dude.
I was like, dude, this guy literally, he runs the show here. Wow. I mean, he does. It's like Peyton Manning here in Indy.
Oh, yeah.
Peyton come back here and do, he doesn't even live here.
Right.
And, I mean, he can come back here anytime. He has so
him
much
and
influence.
Reggie Miller, dude.
Oh,
gosh.
yeah, there's no question.
I love Indy fans. They're
Reggie
always
Wayne. I mean, those guys
they run it. Yeah.
Forever. I mean, and they're not even here, and they still have influence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Everyone's like, "Oh, LeBron's such a crybaby. He's a flop." I'm like, Reggie Miller. He invented it.
Yeah.
But and Indy fans are like, "Oh, well, he's littler." Like, well, y'all are, at least y'all are loyal, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So what's it like though, lining up against one of these guys? I mean, Matt, you're a big dude. I mean, you're 250.
Yeah, but these dudes are 6'6".
Right. But you're but as an average guy though, you're a big average dude.
Yeah, but not an NFL dude. I feel scrawny out there. I'm not gonna lie. No, for real. Because even on my punt team, so my front line on punt team are all linebackers, DNs. So my guards are usually about 6'2", 240. Athletic guys. And on field goal, they're all O linemen and tight ends. So I'm the tiny little midget at the very center of the line on protection. But when you got a block like Houston usually rushes their defense on punt. So J.J. Watt's out there, Jadeveon Clowney's out there. So those guys are beasts. And one year I had to block Jadeveon Clowney 1-on-1 every single punt. You know what I'm saying? And I did well, but it's he probably wasn't trying. If he went 100 against my 100, he'd probably beat me 9 out of 10 times. But just because dude's 6'6", like 250, just gets off the ball fast, long. You know, and I can't beat those guys one-on-one. I have to help with some, you know, my interior guys help me out.
Yeah.
You know, but it can be intimidating, man. It's kind of surreal too. It's kind of cool to like hey man, banged heads a little bit with JJ Watt. You know,
Yeah,
not really, but I did. You know.
Yeah. Oh, no, but sure.
And I used to get in fights with Vince Wilfork, so the D tackle for the Patriots, 75. He
the real big dude.
Real
Massive.
big dude.
Yeah, he's like 400 pounds, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like
big.
6'2", like 350 plus.
Of course, you're always picking it with the biggest dudes in the league.
But on field goal, he would always jump to try to bat the ball. But I got notorious at one point for like trying to flip them, you know, grab their legs and flip them. And I have a picture. I'll show you on Instagram. I have a picture of me and the guard picking up Vince Wilfork. I mean, he's 3 feet off the ground.
No way.
And after when
you gotta link this picture in the podcast.
Yeah.
When it's on my Instagram, it's awesome. It's a great photo. It's one of my favorites. And you know, I used to pick fights with these guys because they get pissed about flipping them over. Because sometimes I'd get lucky and I'd flip them over on their back. You know what I'm saying? Or take their knees out. But I got in a fight with Vince Wilfork, and then one time he ran me over one time and literally stepped on my shin. And like put all of his weight on it, and like, but stood there because he knew he was standing on my leg. Stood there for about an extra second longer, and I'm not kidding, dude. I had cleat indentations on my calf, and then it was like bruised for like a month after that. It was like my battle scar, and I was like showing it off in the locker room, like, dude, this Vince Wilfork
Stepped on me, bro.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Took a picture of it on Instagram.
Oh yeah. The picture's awesome. It's on there.
That's gnarly.
Where'd you go to college?
Went to Western Washington University.
You would know it if you listened to Zach Hummel show, cuz.
Small little Division
got
II
a lot to
school
catch up on.
near Seattle. Yeah.
Okay.
So Matt actually has a really cool story. I won't go through it again, but it's real quick. You went community college, right?
Yeah, with JUCO first, then Western, and then in between my time here in Indy. So I signed to the Colts in 2012. My last college year was 2006, so it took me 6 years to get to the NFL.
How about that perseverance?
I mean, I was with teams like in OTAs and like training camp, but to play my first NFL game took 6 years after college.
Sounds like David. Reminds me of
I
David.
think it's super gnarly. And, you know, he went to a junior college first.
Mm-hmm.
And I played 2 years there, right? So
Yeah.
junior college back there, though, it was different than like community colleges back home, like where we're from. So the junior college, you said, a lot of people who like couldn't get grades or was trying to
It's
get
big time.
themselves-
Yeah, sports, JUCO sports in California, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama. They're big time.
See, I didn't know about that until Matt.
High State always gets a lot of big guys like that. That's the only
Yeah.
reason I know. I'm obsessed with High State football.
Yeah.
he's
So I mean,
huge,
it's big time. It's I played with probably some of the best athletes I've ever played with was from JUCO. I mean, these are guys like, I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, but I played JUCO football with guys in their 40s, guys straight out of jail, guys kicked out of school, drug dealer. I mean, because the JUCO, you don't have to have you have to have a GED, I think, but not a high school diploma.
All right.
And there's no time frame. So when you play NCAA, you have a clock. You have 5 years to play 4 years. So as soon as you are as soon as you enroll in a like Ohio State, you have 5 years to play 4 years of that particular sport. So not anybody could just go walk on at Ohio State because there's a time clock, right? So but JUCO there's no time clock.
Wow.
So you get guys out there that really don't belong out there, but they just want to play because they want to play and they love it. You know, so I played with guys that, you know, were in their 40s. Like I said, straight gangbangers, like guys that would never succeed in school because they don't care about school, you know, nor do they have the resources to, you know, succeed in school as well. So and so I played with some of the best athletes ever that would never make it out of JUCO or qualify for a school outside of that, but I mean, just unbelievably talented.
Like NFL caliber?
100%, yeah.
That's gnarly.
The speed was crazy, man. I mean, I had guys literally like just smoke weed before practice, halftime at games, and would go play and ball out. And it was like we had after one of our JUCO games, we had a fight with the other team in our locker room. That's how ghetto this was.
And where is this in Cali when you're living in Cali?
Yeah, this is in the Bay Area, and this is at a nice school. It's one of the nicer Diablo Valley College, but the other team, a couple guys went through the back door of our locker room, got in, and had beef with some guys on our team. And dude, it was. I mean, it should be a reality show. I'm not. And I know they have the Netflix series Last Chance U. That's all JUCO stuff.
Oh, okay.
But my school was. I mean, there was that. There was guys would have their guns in the locker. We had one practice.
This is like what's the one Adam Sandler played in, The Longest Yard?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I feel like this is like The Longest Yard shit. That was a dope
rough,
movie.
man.
I like that movie.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Never saw Adam Sandler as a quarterback though.
Right?
No.
There was one practice where we were just going through our drills, and this car pulls up, and the dude gets out and just sits on the hood of his car. Right? No one knew what was going on. Then one of our receivers takes off his helmet and just sprints straight to this dude that's sitting on his car. And they start fighting right there. And he chases him down. And we're on campus. He's got his full pads on. Chasing and apparently this dude came out just to taunt him because he was like hooking up with his girlfriend. It was it's just like unreal things went on. You know, and this is my first exposure to it because I'm from like the countryside, like a little suburban,
Suburbia.
Yeah, exactly. High school, and then I really jump into a very diverse situation, you know, where kids come from nothing, man, nothing.
I bet there's a huge growing experience
Nothing,
to that.
man, yeah, and guys literally gangbanging, dude, like selling drugs at school. You know what I'm saying? And like. Some of the greatest, and they were great people, just caught up in the wrong thing. Man.
Yeah. How often may I see that so much?
Yeah, it really is. You don't really understand it when you're in it, when you're that young. But like when you get older and look back, you're like, man, like that kid never had a shot.
Yeah. Great person.
Never had a shot to make it out because they're just so like rooted in that culture and that hardship, man, where they had to hustle and gangbang to thrive, you know.
I had an older friend used to come to the gym often, and he was really involved with selling drugs and this realm of things. I always gravitated towards him a ton. Just an absolutely phenomenal dude. And so I was working through him like, man, you know, this lifestyle, and I was able to get on a personal level with him multiple times and trying to like, you know, he's an older guy, like 45, so he's been in the game like since he was selling drugs since he's been 13.
Yeah.
So he's like big shot, dude. I'm like, dude, you know, trying to explain to him, like, what do you think about something else? He goes, dude, I've tried other jobs. He goes, this is who I am. This is just what I do. I'm addicted to the thrill of doing this. And on top of that, I can't be anything else than what I'm being right now. And to me, it was just like, it was the first time that I've been introduced to that type of diversity to where he really felt as if there's nothing else he could do. Yeah. That could be the only thing that would fuel him. Mm-hmm. And because he was that accustomed to doing it for that long. And it was just like kind of disheartening because he was the most genuine, nicest guy. Would take his shirt off his back for literally anybody. Yeah. Anybody. Was friends with the cops that went to the gym. I mean, just an all-around great guy. Yeah. Just caught up in the wrong lifestyle for literally 3/4 of his life. Oh, yeah. And, you know, you feel this like remorse in a sense. You feel bad in a sense. You're like, man, I can't believe that I couldn't say some words or whatever it is. But once you get caught up in that lifestyle, man, it's hard.
Yeah. And unfortunately, they always say like you can't. There's some people you just can't reach or save, dude. Yeah. And as hard as you try, and it's just the sad world we live in, man. Some people just don't have options, man. Yeah. You know, they really don't. You know, I know you. At the end of the day, you make your choices and you can walk it down a certain path, but some people are just so, like I said, rooted in it, and it's all they've known. It's like generational, you know, and unfortunately, it's like. You know, live by the sword, die by the sword. Yeah. You know? I mean, I had those were tattoos that guys had on their arms and on their bodies. Like, hey, if I die doing this is because, you know, it's like they know that that's a repercussion and that's a sacrifice.
Yeah, like going to jail every day.
Everything.
It's all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sucks, man. It really does. And, you know, I mean, I actually just saw one of my buddies that I played JUCO with at the Atlanta airport where he was on his way to like Jamaica or something. And I asked about some of the guys that, you know, he was friends with, and it was so refreshing and like just made my heart happy to hear that they were still alive. Wow. Yeah, no kidding. Like, yeah, I was like, man, like, how's so and so doing? He's like, dude, he's doing great. I'm like, dude, I would have thought he would be in prison or dead by now. You know what I'm saying? So it made my heart happy just to hear that they were like well and got kids and got a family and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Good deal. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good to hear, cool, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, what's your prediction for the Super Bowl? Who's going to win?
Golly, man. never want to bet against Tom Brady in the fight. But so I have to root for the Rams because of Sean McVay, the head coach. And here's why. 2009, I was playing the United Football League. This is a minor league for the NFL at the time, and this is the first year that it started. But Sean McVay was our tight ends coach slash offensive quality control.
How old was he? 11?
23 years old. So he's 33 now. He's the youngest coach ever.
He's your age, right?
Yeah, he's 33. Just turned 33. Youngest coach ever coached in Super Bowl. And he was on our staff 2009, so 10 years ago, in the UFL for the Florida Tuskers. And so, like, just to see, like, where he started from. I mean, it was crazy because back then he was like a offensive guru. Like, you could talk to him, X's and O's, would break things down, smart. And there was a reason why he was coaching straight out of college. Like, Jay Gruden, John Gruden's brother, was our head coach or offensive coordinator at the time. But Jay, I don't know where Jay found Sean at, but I think when Sean played at Miami of Ohio, was where we went to college. And I think after that, he tried to break into the Arena League or something, and that's where Jay Gruden was the head coach for the Orlando Predators Arena team. And I think he may have played under him or something. But anyway, Jay took Sean under his wing and was like, you're going to go coach, and kind of developed him, and that's where he started. Then when Jay went to the Redskins, Sean went there too. So, like, it was cool to see the progression he's had over the years, and now a head coach, now in the Super Bowl. In 2 years of coaching, head coach.
So gnarly, dude.
You know?
I love his energy, dude.
It's crazy. But they talk about his photogenic, like, memory and stuff, and like how he can, like, see something and see a play and, like, remember it and remember the formation.
Yeah, they talking about this earlier this year. I see it on Twitter. He was like naming a play like this date at this time. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Boom, some next level shit.
But he took, like, Jared Goff was awful 3 years ago.
Yeah.
No, he really was. And, like, it's like, how can you be the first overall pick and just be that bad? And now Jared Goff he's not elite by any means, but dude, he's in
a Super Bowl.
He's in a Super Bowl, and he's light years away from where. So to have Sean McVay come in and, like, not only believe in him, because it could have been so easy for him to come in and be like, dude, let's draft another quarterback. And they just rode with him, kept him going, and, like, he's just not only built his confidence up, but developed him as a quarterback. And now, you're in the Super Bowl. You know?
Would the Rams be in the Super Bowl if they were still in St. Louis?
I don't know, because I still feel like LA is not the greatest fan base market. I mean, now it is because they're winning. But if they weren't winning, it wouldn't be the hype. LA is a tough market.
I feel like there's just so much hype around it right now too.
Well, it's cool. It's cool because LA finally has a winning team and stuff. Because it's been a long time, dude. And LA is kind of like St. Louis. They've been stripped of their teams because they had the Raiders at one point, the Rams at one point. You know, so it's like, why can't an NFL team thrive in LA? And I think it's because the market's not the great. You think it's awesome, but it's. I don't know. But winning solves a lot of issues. Mm-hmm. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Chargers. They play in a soccer arena. It's like 14,000 seats for an NFL game.
That's crazy.
I mean, they're going to have their awesome stadium here in another year or two, but I don't know if they're still. St. Louis is a good fan base, man. They hated losing. We're not that far away from Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk.
Yeah,
we really aren't. That I mean,
remember that Super Bowl when they just missed it? I was watching those highlights the other day, man. I was like,
so close.
I mean, when I played, I played in St. Louis against the Rams, and this is like when they were awful. Like, and it was leaked that they're going to be moving, but when are they going to? So, and that arena was awful. It was probably the worst stadium I've ever played in. And the fan. I mean, there was nobody there at the game. I mean, it was depressing. You know, but I know that when they lost the team, like, St. Louis was heartbroken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Imagine, for sure.
It's like the Oakland's losing the Raiders next year.
Dude, they gotta be devastated.
Oh, for
because
sure.
Oakland's fans are legit, aren't they? Aren't they real?
That's an iconic team, and to take that team away from Oakland is.
How do you think they're gonna do in Vegas?
They'll probably do well, but that's another city. They always ask, like, why isn't there an NBA team? Why isn't there an NFL team? Because it's not. It's a destination for people to go on the weekend. It's not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
they'll probably pack the house for the NFL games, but maybe they'll go through that honeymoon phase where like everyone's at the game for the first year or two, and then it kind of, if they're not winning, they're not going to be there. Like they're not going to be like Cleveland, where you have diehard, or Pittsburgh or Eagle. You know, like you don't have a fan base like that. That's because it's not part of Vegas.
Yep.
Dude, it'd be so hard to be a player playing in Vegas, getting all that money.
No, it saves a lot of money on taxes, man. There's no stadium.
Yeah, I was thinking just about the nightlife,
casinos and
the casinos,
yeah,
the
bars,
the partying.
Well, that might be another reason why owners are like, I'm not going to take my team and expose my players, my 22-year-old.
I know me at 22. If I was in Vegas and you gave me $1 million, pfft.
Well, no, the thing is, like, there's always something to do, right? So it's like, all right, I have Tuesday off. What can I do? Here in Indy, it's like, I have Tuesday off. What can I do?
Go race go-karts.
Go bowling.
Go throw axes.
Go throw axes.
So, I don't know, but I want the Rams. I would like to see the. I really don't care who wins. It'd be cool to see Tom Brady just like continue to dominate.
That's what I'm rooting for.
But then again, it'd be awesome to see Sean McVay and the Rams pull it off.
For sure, it'd be cool just because they're so new too, and
it's different.
Youngest coach.
Yeah.
I love the hype. I like the hype.
But I just love. I really do. I've really appreciated the Tom Brady story over the past couple of years, because playing for the Colts, like we were kind of like brainwashed to hate the Patriots. Like, this is our rival. Like,
Indianapolis is brainwashed.
Hate the Patriots, right? And it's like, first of all, I wasn't around here when Peyton Manning was here, and you guys even stood a chance to beat the Patriots. You know, where it kind of went back and forth every year. We got stomped by the Patriots. They beat us like 42 to like 10 every year.
That's why I was wondering why it was a rivalry. I'm like, y'all don't win.
Well, exactly.
How many years
when I was here,
won?
I've never been on a team that beat the Patriots. So we beat them. I'll take that back. We beat them in preseason last year when I was in the Jaguars. It was pretty tight. So like
Tom Brady didn't play, but it was tight.
He did. No, he did. Garoppolo was the quarterback that game. So, but I could say that I won a game at Gillette Stadium.
That's what's up.
Yeah. It was never. It was weird. It's like, why are we painting this to be a rival when we've never beaten these dudes in like 10 years?
It's like Ohio State, Michigan, right?
Just about to say. Since I've been born, I can remember 2 losses, I think.
For sure. And like, I guess historically, like, this is the 100th game that Ohio State and Michigan has played, but like,
fuck the historic
the whole
stuff.
It's I don't know, man. It's so overhyped here, and the hate for Tom Brady and the Patriots, and the Deflategate thing came out, which was completely bogus.
But everyone still believes like they're so hard. Like, dude, I'm like Crew, like 7 years old. He's being brainwashed by all his peers or whoever is people speaking into his life, telling him like, oh, LeBron James sucks. Like, Crew came home and told me LeBron James sucks. I'm like, nah, respect him. He's the greatest player you may ever watch.
Yeah,
if you want to be good at basketball,
his
you might
personality or.
But he does. He gives millions of dollars off the court, and he's also he's never see him in the public eye doing some stupid shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he wins games. I said you should respect him as an athlete.
Well, that's Tom Brady, and that's we could talk about that big story that broke about the kid with the science fair project, like proving that Tom Brady's a cheater. You see that go viral?
No.
It's like a little 12-year-old. He did a science project.
So of course everyone in Indy's like, it gotta be.
No, the Indy Star like ran the story. It's like a kid from Ohio.
It's probably Tim. Tim probably wrote it. Yeah. Our homie is an Indy Star. I'm gonna holler at him about it.
It's like this. They had this 12-year-old. It's like 12-year-old win science fair to prove that Tom Brady's a cheater. And one of the quotes was like, "I hate Tom Brady because he cheats." Right? I'm like, this little 12-year-old kid, right? It's like his dad probably did the whole project for him and all that kind of stuff, but it gained a lot of attention, like, nationally. And it's like, it's so dumb. Like, what, we're kind of like showing like Tom Brady's career is magnificent. You know what I'm saying? 6th-round draft pick.
It's like one of the best stories that you could literally tell. It's probably the best story ever. Like the comeback
kid. Marries a supermodel who makes 4 times the amount that you do.
He's winning all ass. He just he wakes up every day, dude, and just wins.
Like, you want your kid to be Tom Brady.
Oh
like,
my
why don't we just like?
I would love for my son to be. I would love that, dude. I'd love Crew, man. You want to be Tom Brady? Marry a real hot chick, makes more money than you, and you already rich. Winning Super Bowls.
Makes
Come on.
UGG slippers like fashionable. Like, dude, like Tom Brady is the face of UGG boots. You know what I'm saying? Like, no other man can pull that off.
Do you got UGGs?
Yeah, 100%.
See, Ashman trying to talk.
They're house shoes though. They're like slippers. They're not I don't wear them out. But Tom Brady wore them out. I mean, he was like, dude, these are.
I wear them out with my pants off if I was Tom Brady. I'd be swinging half shaft showing. Come on. Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your pick, Jay? What you got?
I'm going to take the Patriots. I'm rooting for the Patriots.
Right.
I don't know who's going to win, but.
Why are you going for him?
It's Tom Brady. I just like how everyone doubted him this year. Plus, I love the Barstool thing. Like, I love like when they do like the live streams of the Barstool guys watching and they get super hyped. And then like when they're down, I like that kind of stuff too. So I'm not really like I used to be a Colts fan when Peyton Manning back in the day. So I used to hate the Patriots, like you just said. Yeah. And now like since Peyton Manning, I'm a so. Now I moved to India. I like the Colts more, but I just like Tom Brady.
Did you watch the Facebook documentary that he did last year?
No.
Oh, you didn't watch
Tom Brady?
that?
I saw some clips from it. I saw like the clip of him and his son.
You need to watch it, man. It made me love him even more because it gives the behind the scenes of like his preparation and like the mindset behind. Like,
I did hear a little bit about it.
Dude, it's on Facebook. You gotta watch it.
It's on Facebook.
It was last year he did it.
What to watch it?
It went from I think it was because the year before they beat the season before I think they lost in the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl. Or something like that, and then it's kind of like the redemption story. And it was the season that they beat Atlanta, I think. So they documented it, and then his suspension when he got suspended.
Yeah.
And then his trainer for getting shunned out of the facility and all this kind of stuff. I mean,
he had some rocky road there for a minute.
A lot of background. I mean, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's pretty dang cool, man. You're like, dude, this dude's the man. And it starts off with him. It's cool. It starts off with him like going into a safe. And pulling his rings out, like one by one, and putting on his finger, and then because it was the first episode is when he goes to the ring ceremony to get their 5th ring. So it's him going to the safe, like pulling all 4 of like the cobwebs are in there. It's like he's dusting them off, polishing them, and he puts all 4 rings on. He's like, dude, I mean, it just, and then he goes to the ceremony to get his 5th, and then it goes into the story of like how he got his 5th ring.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
gnarly.
It's great.
Yeah, I want to check it out.
It's probably the perfect documentary for every Tom Brady hater to like hate even more. It's like it's
easy to hate.
You got to respect it though, man. It's so cool.
Yeah, you got it. I'm going with the Patriots. I simply can't root against Tom Brady. Although I love the whole idea. I love McVay. I hope if they win, I wouldn't be disappointed. But I'm a Steelers fan at heart. I grew up 20 or 45 minutes in Pittsburgh, so I was bred to not like Tom Brady too. Because with the Steelers, we either have the Ravens as a big rival, and then Browns never really because they always sucked. But then the Patriots, obviously, because we met AFC
But
Championship.
Cincinnati is a big rival, kind of, isn't it?
Yeah, they're a big rival too. Yeah, but the Cincinnati typically isn't very good either. Like the Ravens, whenever the Ravens had like
tough,
Ray Lewis and those guys was playing, it was a lot more of a like because they had that hardcore. They had their badass defense. We had like James, like our badass defense. Actually, that time it was. Oh shit! I can't remember who was playing. Joey Porter. Remember Joey Porter? Yep.
James Harrison.
Those guys were all studs. I remember when James Harrison came in. His story was awesome. I was a James Harrison fan the first day he came in. Like he was bagging groceries last week.
Yeah. He was cut like several times before he finally made the roster. Undersized. Obviously, he's like you seem like, dude, this guy's a tank, but he's like 5'11". Undersized outside linebacker. He's not 6'3", 6'4".
Remember he ran an interception back like 100 yards. It took him like three minutes to get down there.
Yeah.
He was like going and going. I remember watching. I was like, go, and like looking, stumble. It was like 2 minutes. I felt like it took for him to get down there.
And then Larry Fitzgerald tries to tackle him late at the end of the play.
He's probably my favorite player, Larry Fitzgerald.
Really?
Well, I mean, besides you. Of course. No, I love that. I watched him when he played for Pitt.
Yeah.
And I just love. My dad was always like, "You see how he gives him the ball? He doesn't have to spike the ball." I love when players celebrate now, but like my dad was real big on like me being like cannon the ball after I scored touchdowns.
I've been there before.
Yeah, that whole bullshit. I'm like, no, I'm trying to dance, man. I'm pumped about this.
Yeah.
Trying to floss.
Yeah.
I'll be out there dancing if I score.
Yeah,
there are some questionable dances out there. That's like, whoa, where'd you learn that from?
Yeah, there's most definitely some questionable dances. Most definitely.
Who's your favorite Steeler of all time, though?
Oh, that's a good question.
Hines Ward.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, you did talk about.
It's probably gonna be Hines Ward, man. But I mean, like Meadrow Green, like old school guys, like before my time, because I just screwed up on the history of it too, dude. So like going to the games, and I thought that was cool with Terry Bradshaw.
Heinz Field is a pretty cool place to play.
Dude, I could only imagine.
It's a good. I've never won there. That's another team that like Indy kind of demises too.
Yeah.
It's Pittsburgh.
I get that a lot whenever I tell people I'm a
You
Steelers
know,
fan here.
Because there's been heated battle games like in the like AFC Championship or the divisional round and stuff like that, and
he's come up short on, gets frustrated.
And dude, Pittsburgh smoke. I think honestly there was probably a couple games when I was here in Indy and we played against Big Ben. Big Ben had like NFL record-breaking games. I mean, I'm not even. He had like 5 touchdowns, 450 yards pass. I mean, stupid numbers against us. And then last year in Jacksonville, we beat them twice at Heinz Field.
Oh yeah.
Once in the regular season and then once in the playoffs. Dude,
Wow.
It was like, this is cool, man. Because winning at Heinz Field's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And you got the
But when
elements
you do it,
too,
though,
man.
when you do it though, the whole like you can feel the energy just leave the stadium because the terrible towels are out. It's loud. It's cold usually, and when you like lay the smack down on them, like the fans just go
Quiet.
They go to sleep, man. It's crazy, man. It's cool.
I bet that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. Who's your favorite player of all time?
Player of all time, probably Jerry Rice or Steve Young. 'Cause
Okay.
I grew up a 49er fan.
All right.
The 49ers were the dynasty when I was growing up. So like the 90s was like crazy. Went from Joe Montana to Steve Young. You know,
I feel like Jerry Rice did stuff on a
Terrell
football
Owens
field.
started
That
his
was
career there, and
Yeah.
that's when T.O. became T.O. Deion Sanders was there at one point. I mean, had the run of just success, you know. And but with that, we hated the Cowboys. That's who we hated.
okay.
Hated the Cowboys because that's who we had to go through to get to the Super Bowl was the Cowboys.
Cowboys are a pretty hated team, it seems like.
For sure.
As
There's
America's
a lot of drama around it. You got a very outspoken owner. You know, you always have some kind of controversy. Guys are always getting in trouble. Always getting in trouble on that team. Going back in the day, if you watch the 60, what is it called, or the 30 for 30 on the O linemen that they had back in like the Troy Aikman era, like those guys were like, you know, doing drugs and like getting in trouble, and like Michael Irvin was getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So there's always drama on that, and you have Des Bryant, drama queen.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Now you have Zeke, who's getting in
yeah.
trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always guys getting. I think that's why they're like the Raiders, dude.
Yep.
You know, they always kind of get those badasses, and you know, guys that he might get in trouble. Let's hope not. But yeah, the Raiders are kind of notorious for that too. You know.
I mean, it's so like it's such a common sport though. It's like boxing when people are like the whole Mike Tyson and just every boxer kind of gets famous, he gets a bunch of money and then fucks it up by doing a bunch of dumb shit. It's just like, dude, you're at such a gladiator sport. You're gonna have like everyone who does it's a little bit off anyways.
Yeah.
It's how much of that offside they fuel.
Yeah.
You know, their upbringing,
But there's
whatever.
some
it might be.
definitely dumb stuff that people do to get in trouble. It's like
absolutely.
DUI is a dumb thing. Not to say that I haven't done that, but it's like the DUI. That's a
Especially with Uber now.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
People get DUIs nowadays.
The
it's like,
resources
man.
you have to make sure that doesn't happen is just, I mean, it's out there, you know, and it's unfortunate that guys get caught up with that. But like, I think the PED stuff is pretty selfish too. I mean, like, come on, because you know what you're taking for the most part. I mean, it's rare that you can say, oh, I didn't know Adderall was in my homie's drink that I drank out of. Like, come on, dude. Like,
Is that a common one that gets?
well, that's what Richard Sherman and those guys. They got in trouble for something, and he was like, dude, he claimed that he took a drink out of teammates' bottle that had a prescribed Adderall. You know, so it's like,
Why didn't you just go get prescribed?
and-
Anybody
and-
get prescribed
and
it?
don't get me wrong, I think the Adderall thing is stupid. I think if you can, if you have a prescription for it, by all means, like,
Whatever, yeah.
it's an issue people have. They need it to function.
But
You know what I'm
majority of the
saying? But then
consumers
that's
don't
gonna
need
say,
it.
it's
Let's
so
just be
easy to
real.
get though.
Majority of
100%.
consumers don't need
Absolutely. And you know, we can save the marijuana thing for a whole nother discussion. But like, guys know that they're going to be tested between April and July.
Yeah, you're an idiot if you fail those tests, right?
Yeah, you're just playing Russian roulette if you just keep smoking through that whole time. That's why I really don't have a lot of sympathy for Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
He may have some real mental issues, which is awful, and I hope he gets that fixed. But like, you know when you're going to be tested, and if you're in the program, you know you're going to be tested all the time, randomly. So like,
But if you're not in the program though, you could literally smoke weed all year and then just stop. You know when you're getting tested.
yeah, if you just
So you're just an idiot.
if you play the game right and you don't smoke between April and July, you're fine. You pass your test, you're good for the year.
June, and July, 4 months.
Yeah. Now PED, you get tested randomly all the time. You know what I'm saying? So It's kind of an ongoing joke, like during OTAs and spring training, like, all right, guys, like, play cool this weekend if you haven't been tested. And then when guys get called to get tested, because it's random, so like you can get tested the first day or the very last day, and you don't want to be the last day, obviously, if you are into that kind of stuff, right? But when guys get their name called for testing,
You're like into that.
Dude, it's like
there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah,
it's like
Seinfeld.
it's like a celebration. Guys like, yes, I got my test today. Party tonight. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you pee clean,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
So there's certain things where I'm like, dude, like, come on, man, like, really, like,
Oh yeah,
get in
I'm
trouble
sure.
for that,
Especially like being like on a team.
over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man. The Josh Gordon thing, I hope there's a movie on that one day, because he's he's one of those guys that the greatest that could have been.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is.
Is he
I mean,
done? I don't even
no,
know
but he. I mean, this is like the 10th time he's been in trouble
for pot.
for failing a test. I don't know what the substance was or whatever, but the dude is incredible. I mean, he really is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was incredible on the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about him being on the Patriots right now. If Tom Brady still had him as a weapon,
That's the crazy thing is he just keeps Tom Brady just moves on.
yeah,
Doesn't matter.
he moves on. Belichick moves on. They don't skip a beat, man. And Philip Dorsett, who I'm former teammate of mine here, having a really good run here in the past couple months and making some big plays. So I'm hoping he has a big game. Dwayne Allen's another player, tight end. They get to play in the Super Bowl, man. It's pretty cool.
It's super dope.
Yeah.
Gronk, dude, is just such a bully.
Gronk's the
Do
man.
you think
I
this is
love
the Gronk's
Gronk.
last game though?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
do.
he's
He's getting up there.
The speculation is. I mean,
Really? I didn't even thought he was that old. I guess.
I think he
this is
retires
only
when
like
Tom
his
is.
8th year. It's not like he's. It's really not that long.
Does Tom retire if he wins?
I don't. Why? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't.
My question is like off the field stuff. Is he just ready just to hang now? Like I don't know. Like are
He's
you ready
obsessed with winning though.
to? Or yeah, are you ready to get out of
Dude,
it?
I
Like,
think he.
don't know.
When I watched the documentary, and I think he gives you a great insight on his life outside of football, because like obviously his wife has a not so normal life too. So it's not like she's not in the limelight. Nobody knows who she is. I mean, she's doing her thing, like with modeling and Victoria's Secret, and I just think they complement each other so well, and their kids are, you know, probably in the same school they've been their whole life. Like they're stable, they're comfortable, they're happy. They love that their dad's Tom Brady. You know, like
Yeah, that'd be rad.
if he's not injured or doesn't feel like he can't compete anymore, why stop?
Yeah. Is that where you sit, Matt?
That's how I feel personally with me. Like as soon as I feel like I can't play at a high level, or my body is just telling me no, like you can't do it anymore, then I would love to walk away on my own terms. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think Tom Brady, it's like, I mean, why not just keep going?
Yep.
Oh, dude, I would love for that. I don't ever want to.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's
Tom
only.
Brady, Ben
What's
Roethlisberger.
crazy is he's 41 years old now, and like, I think nowadays I forget what quarterback just said this, but they said like nowadays with the rules and you know, the protection they give the quarterbacks, it's like, why not play into your 40s now?
Right. Yeah, you kind of have that.
I mean, you really can. You have the longevity now because you're not, you know, guys aren't going to be lowballing you at the legs or, you know, trying to take your head off because they can't. You know, unless they're going to give up 50 G's for a penalty.
yeah, and
you
I
know,
think that
and
rule's a
fine.
little bit excessive, personally.
There's no question. There's some rules that are like, whoa, like,
I mean, I think we have to naturally protect players 100%.
yeah.
But I mean, sometimes like the
But
tabs, I'm
getting
like,
slapped across the face, your face mask is I mean, it's not illegal contact with the head, you know. It's
yeah.
like,
And if I was a quarterback too, I'd be like sometimes shameful of that shit. Like if I was the guy who like got hit, I'd be like, man, I just feel like,
Like that call they had on Brady.
yeah,
That last game, right? Where
oh,
they barely.
the hand went down the face mask. Like, come on, that's not illegal use.
And then in the other game, they missed the Saints. I just can't believe. Like it was multiple penalties, right? Like, it was a helmet to helmet. It was
Yeah.
pass interference.
Yeah.
There was 2 refs right there. How does that happen?
Well, I was on another podcast with my buddies that do a sports podcast, and they're asking me about the calls and the rule changes and how refs or overtime rules and what should be changed. I'm like, dude, let's not get rid of the refs entirely, but let's try to take the human error out of it as much as possible. And like every play can be reviewable. Then you have a panel of guys that sit there and watch every single play just like we do at home, and you can see the bang bang plays, slow
Makes
motion,
sense.
and call down to the ref and say, hey, that's a legitimate head-to-head hit, or that's, you know, that's an illegal contact, that's pass interference, you know, just like we do on a catch or a drop.
Yep.
Everything is analyzed, you know, and take the human error out of it, you know, because the guys can't see everything. And honestly, when I was watching the game, the Saints and Rams game on that pass interference, when you watch the game, it's not as blatant as it is in slow motion. You don't see the ball, how close it is to the play, because it looked like an overthrown ball to me. So I thought, you know, it's uncatchable, you know. But then you don't see the DB that didn't look back. He hit him like a second before the ball was even there, and it was head-to-head contact.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was bizarre.
We have all this technology in the world, but we failed to use it. You know, it's like, come on.
It's either you go all the way in or be all the way out.
Yeah.
Like, use then no replays
well, it's
for
gotten
anything.
to a point where now, like, refs are getting fired and fined. Well, then just take the human error out of it.
They're going to fuck up. They're human, too.
For sure, yeah.
You know, bringing that full circle.
Yeah.
With your homie, you know, the field goal. It's like, bring that full circle. Like, the refs, like, you know, our homie, Adam, he's part of the team, was part of the team. He actually just moved on. We love him still, naturally.
Still love you.
Still love you, dude. He's a ref. Like, he'd like high school sports and shit, and he's always like, I'm the most hated. Like, every game, he's like, he goes, I'm told I'm retarded at least once a day. Like, all the time. And, you know, I kind of like feel for him a little bit.
While he's reffing an 8-year-old basketball.
Yes. No, he goes, that's the worst, dude. Like, middle school is the worst, he said.
Yeah.
He goes, they just
parents, man.
fucking rip me, dude.
Oh, I'm
You're
sure.
so dumb. And he goes, I know, sir. That's what he tells him.
That's the best answer.
Yes, sir, I know this. I thought that's funny. Guys, I had a blast on the podcast today.
It's fun. My parking meter's up in 2 minutes.
Go. Matt, thanks so much for taking the time to come on with us, dude.
Anytime, man.
This is
Appreciate
awesome,
you.
dude.
Yeah.
Jay, you got any parting shots?
Check out PRX, their Instagram. Do you have their Instagram on the top? It's PRX Performance, I believe.
Yeah, we are horrible sponsors.
Let's see. PRX Performance. Yep, PRX Performance. Check them out. We will be doing more content with them soon, you know, showing off the rack, showing, you know, some different things you could do with the rack. There's so many different things you could do. They have so many little hacks. We're coming up with a lot of different hacks. You can, you know, make different leg curl movements. So we're super pumped about the partnership. The promo code Zach and J5 if you're interested. And Matt, thanks for coming on the show. It was a
It was
blast.
good to meet you too, finally.
Yeah,
man.
of course. Finally.
Thank you.
Peace, guys. Appreciate it. If you enjoyed the episode, leave us a 5-star rating. Leave us a review. If you don't like the episode, just keep scrolling.
Later.